Look at the inside of your calf right now. Those lines, the blue ones, the purple ones, the ones that branch out like rivers under your skin. Most people call them broken blood vessels. That's not what they are. Inside each of those veins, something mechanical is failing. A valve the size of a grain of rice that was supposed to snap shut after every heartbeat has stopped closing. Blood is falling backward through it, pooling, stretching the wall outward. 41% of adults at age 60 have this happening inside their legs right now. It isn't cosmetic, it's structural. The Cochrane collaboration, the highest authority in medical evidence, reviewed 17 separate clinical trials on a single plant extract that targets the exact failure point inside that valve. It's the last thing I'll show you today, because 4 others are worth knowing first, and the one most women try before anything else is doing the least. Here's what nobody properly explains about your veins after 60. Your leg veins work against gravity. Every second you're upright, blood in your calves has to travel upward, back to your heart. Inside those veins, small one-way valves act like trapdoors. Blood pushes through, the valve snaps shut behind it. Blood can't fall back down. After 60, the collagen and elastin holding those valves together weaken. The seal fails. Blood leaks backward and pools. Pressure builds. The vein wall stretches outward. That swelling you feel by evening? That's the pool filling up. And here's why most creams fail. The molecules in typical vein creams are too large to penetrate to the vein wall itself. They moisturize the epidermis, the outermost skin layer. The vein underneath sits deeper, surrounded by connective tissue. To reach it, a compound needs 2 things: small molecular weight and fat solubility. Most products have neither. You're polishing a window while the wall behind it cracks. There's one remedy that nearly every woman has tried, and nearly every woman has abandoned after a month. Not because it doesn't work at all, because it works at the wrong depth. Witch hazel. The German Commission E, a government body that evaluates herbal medicines, recognizes it specifically for venous support. That recognition is real. The tannins inside it tighten tissue on contact. For spider veins sitting close to the skin surface, that tightening can calm redness and reduce prominence for a few hours. But for the deeper varicose veins, the raised ones, the ones spreading across your calves, tannins simply can't reach the vein wall where the damage lives. A study from 2020 tested witch hazel over 2 months. Symptoms improved, some heaviness lifted, some discomfort eased. But when researchers measured actual blood flow with Doppler ultrasound, nothing had changed structurally. The comfort was real, the repair was not. A chilled witch hazel compress held against spider veins for 15 minutes at night gives temporary relief, but if the veins you're watching are raised, swollen, or spreading, the next 4 go deeper. Literally. Witch hazel can't reach the vein wall. The next one can, and the difference comes down to one chemical property that changes everything about how an oil behaves on your skin. Cypress oil. The compounds inside it, alpha-pinene and camphene, cause blood vessels to constrict. Same principle as witch hazel, but delivered in a fat-soluble form that passes through the skin's lipid barrier rather than evaporating off the surface. Now I want to be careful here. There are no large clinical trials testing cypress oil on varicose veins specifically. The evidence is traditional, supported by compound analysis, not by controlled studies. That's weaker than what's coming at positions 3, 2, and 1. I could have left it off the list, but the vasoconstrictive mechanism is real, and as a nightly support alongside stronger compounds, it earns its place, as long as you know exactly what you're getting. 4 drops of cypress oil into 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Apply to your legs in one direction only, upward, ankle toward knee, never downward. This isn't a massage preference. It mirrors the direction of venous blood flow. You're physically assisting blood to move toward the heart, the same direction those failing valves are struggling to maintain. Downward strokes push blood against the valves. Upward strokes support them. This next one earned its position before I finished reading the research. In the Victory trial, a randomized controlled study, patients with confirmed varicose veins took grapeseed extract for 12 weeks. Researchers measured venous reflux with Doppler ultrasound. The backward blood flow, the exact failure we've been talking about, dropped measurably, not symptom relief, structural change on a screen. The compounds responsible are called oligomeric proanthocyanidins, OPCs, and they do something none of the previous remedies can touch. OPCs bind directly to collagen and elastin fibers in the vein wall. These are the structural proteins holding your veins together. When they degrade, the wall stretches and the valves stop closing. OPCs physically reinforce those fibers. A separate study used 4-dimensional flow MRI to measure blood velocity in patients with chronic venous insufficiency. The group taking grapeseed extract showed significantly increased flow, blood moving faster through damaged veins. That's not a feeling, that's physics. Cold-pressed grapeseed oil applied topically delivers some benefit, but the stronger approach is oral. 100 to 300 milligrams of grapeseed extract daily. The OPCs travel through your bloodstream and reach the vein wall from the inside. How long have you been dealing with these veins? 5 years? 10? Longer? Drop your number in the comments. I'm always struck by how long people manage this quietly before finding anything that actually addresses the structure underneath. And if you'd like to come back to any of these individually, I've laid them all out with timestamps just below this video. This is where the list shifts. Everything below this point was managing symptoms, tightening, constricting, reinforcing. What comes next is repair, actual construction of new material inside the vein wall, and almost nothing in your medicine cabinet can claim that. This next plant appears in multiple international pharmacopoeias, the official reference books used by physicians and pharmacists, specifically for venous insufficiency. That level of recognition is rare for any botanical. Gotu kola, Centella asiatica. It contains compounds called tritopenic acids, and they do something fundamentally different from everything above. Grapeseed reinforces the collagen already in your vein wall. Gotu kola builds new collagen. It's the difference between patching a tire and your body manufacturing a fresh one. The fibroblasts in your vein tissue, the cells responsible for producing structural material, are stimulated directly by these acids. In placebo-controlled trials, patients taking 60 to 120 milligrams daily showed measurable improvements in microcirculation, the blood flow in the smallest vessels, including the ones that form spider veins. Transcutaneous oxygen measurements improved, symptom scores dropped, and the higher dose consistently outperformed the lower. That dose dependency is a strong signal. The effect is real, not placebo. For topical use, steep-dried Gotu kola in warm sweet almond oil for 48 hours. Not hot, warm. Strain into a dark glass jar. Apply at night, upward from ankle to knee. The triterpenic acids are fat-soluble, and the almond oil carries them through your skin's lipid barrier. If this is changing how you think about what's happening inside your veins, pass this along to someone who's been covering her legs for years. It might change something for her. And before we reach the top of this list, your veins, your circulation, your medications are yours. If you're on blood thinners, if you've had blood clots, if anything about your veins has changed suddenly, that conversation belongs with your doctor first, always, because what the evidence shows about this next compound is something I want you to hear with full attention. I'm not going to start with the name. I'm going to start with what the evidence shows. And when I first went through the Cochrane analysis on this, I went back and read it a second time, because the weight of evidence surprised even me. 17 separate clinical trials, all testing the same compound. The Cochrane collaboration analyzed every one of them. Leg pain reduced, swelling reduced, itching reduced, across 2 to 16 weeks, all standardized to one active compound. That compound is a acenin. The plant is the horse chestnut. Most remedies on this list target one mechanism. Acenin targets 3, simultaneously. Your vein wall has become permeable. It leaks fluid into surrounding tissue, causing the heaviness and swelling you feel by evening. Acenin reduces that permeability directly, tightens the gaps in the vessel wall. Fluid stays where it belongs. Then there's the contraction. Ocin triggers the release of a specific prostaglandin, PGF2 alpha, in the vein wall. That prostaglandin causes the smooth muscle around the vein to contract. The vein narrows. Blood pushes upward. Pressure drops. This is an active, measurable contraction, not a gentle toning. And the part that ties it together, an enzyme called hyaluronidase, has been quietly dissolving the connective tissue scaffolding around your veins, year after year. Acin inhibits that enzyme, stops the demolition. The structural framework holding your veins in place finally gets a chance to stay intact. Seal, contract, protect. 3 mechanisms, 1 compound. That's why it sits here. In one trial, acin performed comparably to compression stockings, the standard medical recommendation. The same symptom relief from a plant extract. European physicians prescribed this for decades. It wasn't replaced because something better came along. It was displaced by surgical procedures and pharmaceutical options, not because the compound stopped working, but because the economics shifted. And here's where most people lose the benefit before they've started. Raw horse chestnut seeds are toxic, genuinely poisonous. This must be a properly processed, standardized extract. Look for capsules listing 16 to 20% acenin. That's the concentration the clinical trials used. Dark glass bottle. If the label doesn't specify the acenin percentage, you're guessing. And with this plant, guessing isn't safe. There's a link below to the extract I'd recommend. Standardized, dark glass acenin percentage listed. The honest timeline. Symptom improvement. The heaviness, The aching, the swelling. Most studies showed noticeable change within 2 to 4 weeks. Visible change in the veins themselves takes longer, 6 to 8 weeks of consistent use. This isn't a weekend project. It's your vein walls slowly reclaiming what they've been losing for years. There's one more thing. Something that changes when you should be applying everything on this list, and most people never consider it. When you stand, the venous pressure in your leg sits at roughly 100 millimeters of mercury. Every second, your vein walls are stretched. Your valves are under maximum load. When you lie flat at night, that pressure drops to about 5, from 100 to 5. The wall relaxes, the vein opens, and any compound on the skin above it has a dramatically better chance of reaching that wall when it's relaxed than when it's rigid and fighting gravity. That's why every oil on this list belongs on your legs at night, not in the morning. Not while you're standing, at night. Legs flat, veins resting, repair window open. Your veins haven't stopped trying to function. The tissue is alive, it responds. It rebuilds slowly, quietly, when you give it the right compound, at the right depth, at the right time. And there's something else about horse chestnut I haven't mentioned yet. What a CFIN does when it reaches the inflammatory cascade driving vein wall breakdown from the inside, not topically but through your bloodstream. That's not a footnote. That's its own story.